What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back with another video, and today I want to talk a little bit about Saints Row 5 because even though we haven't heard any information, any bit of news, directly about Saints Row 5, it seems that we probably have a little bit better of an indication of what Saints Row 5 is going to look like due to the recent news and confirmation and reveal of Saints Row the Third Remastered. Now, obviously, Saints Row has quite a following, and quite a loyal following at that, so there's been a lot of people discussing what's going to be happening with the new Saints Row game, what is it going to look like, what are the things going to happen and everything, and unfortunately, since we haven't actually gotten any details of what it's going to look like, the gameplay, anything, there's not really all that much to speculate on, but the biggest thing that people are speculating on is more or less kind of the approach that they're taking to the game, in the sense that Saints Row 1 and Saints Row 2 were a little bit more, grounded, a little bit more realistic, gangster vibes and everything, and then Saints Row the Third and then Saints Row 4 were a little more kind of over the top, chaotic. I think it was just because they wanted to separate themselves from GTA, so they just went like, kind of Looney Tunes, but there's a lot of people that like the old school Saints Row, and there's a lot of people that like the new school, and the biggest debate in the Saints Row community was what Saints Row 5 was going to choose. Is it going to go back to its roots with Saints Row 1, Saints Row 2 style, or was it going to continue what it's been doing with Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4 in a similar style to that? That question has really been the number one thing on everybody's mind, and as I mentioned, we don't actually have any information about Saints Row 5 other than that it's deep in development and that we will be hearing about it this year. So that's really all people have had to go off of, and it's been the biggest question. Everybody is just itching to figure out what it is, and I think the announcement of Saints Row the Third Remastered is pretty telling. Of course, this is just going to be my speculation, this is just my analysis of the situation, but to me, it seems like the whole point of remastering a game, especially at this point, is to kind of build up hype, get people talking about Saints Row again, get people playing Saints Row again, and really just kind of bring it back to people's conversations. People are thinking about Saints Row again. That's the whole point of the remaster. Effectively, they're trying to prepare the community for what is to come, being Saints Row 5. Well, it seems to me if they were going back to their roots with Saints Row 5, they probably would have remastered Saints Row 2. Because it seems Saints Row 2 is widely regarded as the best old school game, and then Saints Row the Third is widely regarded as the best quote-unquote new school game. So effectively, if they're going to do a remaster to build hype, they kind of have to choose sides. And since they went with Saints Row the Third, it seems that they would be preparing the community for what's to come, and they would choose a game that obviously is widely popular by the people that played it, but also is somewhat remotely similar to what you would be experiencing. You would want the new game to kind of just be a better version of the remaster that you're bringing back and reintroducing to people. So once again, since they chose to remaster Saints Row the Third and not Saints Row 2, it seems very likely that Saints Row 5 will, at least to some effect, be somewhat of a continuation of the stories that we've heard. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a direct continuation from Saints Row 4. It seems like a general consensus that people weren't as much of a fan of Saints Row 4 as they were at least the third. The series really took a shift when they went to Saints Row the Third, but it seemed like a lot of people, even though it was a little too Looney Tune, it was a little too chaotic, it seemed like a good chunk, if not the majority of the community, still really enjoyed Saints Row the Third. Maybe it wasn't the exact game they wanted, maybe they wanted it to go in a different direction, but they still really enjoyed it. It seems like when they took the jump to Saints Row 4, they really lost a lot of the community. So I find it very hard to believe that Saints Row 5 will be, even at the same level of just goofiness as Saints Row 4. But I could definitely see it being, on a similar level as Saints Row 3. And again, since they're choosing to remaster Saints Row 3 with everything that they would be doing, the whole purpose of a remaster, it seems pretty likely that Saints Row 5 is not going back to its roots. It's not going to be a sequel to Saints Row 2 or anything like that. it seems like it is going to be a little bit more goofy, a little bit less serious just because of this remaster. So to be fair, absolutely anything could happen. So I want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you think that I'm right? Do you think it actually is going to be, you know, more of a continuation of the goofiness of the new school Saints Row? Or do you think I'm completely wrong and then that they really are going to be going back to their roots? What do you think? Make sure to voice your opinions down in the comments. But that does it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for the support. Peace out.
My model wheel takes me all over the place, and wherever I go, I'm in minds and hearts. Don't need to climb stairs when I'm climbing these charts. Lilith, Roland, the other two dudes didn't come to my birthday party. Rude, but they all found time to go fight the warrior. Like, this would be like some